Abizanda, Spain, September 29, 1992. We drove a few miles and parked at the crest of a bluff overlooking a series of mostly barren fields. There was little greenery save the occasional patch of scrub. The sun had already sunk beneath the rim of the world. My companion Sergio revealed from a case a 6.5 by 54 caliber Mannlicher Schnauer. Looking out across the landscape, he said to me, "Now we will wait." We waited there on the bluff for what seemed like hours, but I realized later that no more than 20 minutes had expired before the most horrific sound I had ever heard came rushing across the landscape. It was not exactly a howl, nor was it a scream. It was, upon reflection, a preternatural wail heralding the fulfillment of a curse. Sergio advised me to take my field glass and look to the left at about 75 yards. My field of vision was illuminated by an impossibly bright full moon. So was the view through the scope of Sergio's rifle. As the baneful wail began to echo down to nothing, I saw it. I saw it running at a tremendous speed. I could even make out the dust kicked up by clawed feet ripping across the ground. Although clearly inhuman, I could detect the vestiges of clothing, ripped, torn, and flailing in the air stirred by the motion of the thing. It took large, loping strides, and strangely, its arms barely moved, as if it were unnecessary for generating torque. It was at just that moment of my contemplation that Sergio fired a shot. The shot shook me to my core. Yet I saw the bullet strike and take the thing to the ground. Then, to my horror, it rose again, in what were mere moments. I watched as it quickly resumed its surreal digitigrade loping across the dark landscape. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. That shot through the midsection would have killed any man ever born, and yet this monstrosity was knocked down by nothing more than the force of the bullet. Then Sergio fired again. The second shot struck the thing in the upper arm or shoulder, for I saw the ragged shirt flare upon impact and a patch of it blew off. The beast did not fall this time, but was pushed by the strike only momentarily before it continued its mad sprint. Sergio got off one more round before the thing finally dashed out of our field of vision. Again, that terrible wail exploded in the darkness all around us. I realized that we were now vulnerable to an attack from virtually any direction. Would the wolfman seek escape, or, as I feared, seek to exact vengeance upon us? Certainly, if Sergio's rifle had failed to stop the beast, there was little hope of success in a hand-to-hand confrontation. In any other situation, we would have been more than a match for an assailant. I was 24 years old at the time. Although Sergio was 10 years my senior, we were both well over 6 feet tall and easily capable of giving a good account of ourselves. We agreed, however, with a glance and a nod, that indeed discretion was the better part of valor. As we headed back to the Jeep, I found myself muttering and musing aloud. What in God's name was that? And Sergio replied in a rare smattering of English. Nothing in God's name. That was the hombre lobo. We came to learn that the monstrous fiend that haunted the hills, woods, and quiet roads amongst the villages was a wolf man, a thing quite different from the so-called werewolf of legend. It was a man, cursed, possessed as it were by a bestial dark spirit that waged war with the soul of the man it sought to subdue and imprison. As such, the demon was brought to the fore when the forces of evil were at their strongest, especially in conjunction with the coming of the full moon. Unlike the natural wolf, the murderous abomination walked on 2 legs, at times even adorned the shredded remnants of the man's clothing. Strangely, until the time of the blood moon, the eyes retained a saddened human quality. We learned from the villagers that the burning of sulfur was prone to keeping away wolves. The scent permeated the air in the village square and the adjoining pathways. One night we ventured out against strenuous admonitions to investigate the strange happenings. This was the night that I was to experience the preternatural reality of the horror that has haunted me these many years. What I witnessed that night has never left me, and the nightmarish visage is a constant companion. It reminds me that at times, that the devil does indeed walk the earth. The following is an excerpt from the journal of Sergio Morales. Last night the thing appeared in the field below the village. The professor too witnessed the creature. I am sure now that he is convinced, as I have been for some time, that this was an unnatural thing. 3 times my rifle found its target, and yet the howling devil endures. I spoke today with Senor Abizanda and Sergeant Gomez. They have agreed to consult with the professor. Is it possible that together we can rid this village of its terrible curse? The body of night watchman Jose Mancilla was found inside his small 2-room office building on the morning of October 1st. He had been beaten and pummeled with unimaginable force. His face and throat had been ripped and torn as if by the claws of a raving beast. Abizanda was a small hamlet, and the word of the horror spread like the plague. Item: the previously installed security camera revealed a brief moment of the deed, but little more. The tape itself was viewed by local officials before being secreted away. Item: the killer was possessed of incredible strength. The metal door, locked and bolted from the inside, had been forcefully pulled from the hinges and slung 30 feet. Item: the momentary flash of activity revealed by the tape indicated that the killer was in fact the same impossible monstrosity recently witnessed by Sergio and myself dashing across the fields below the town. This is as much as I dare reveal to you here. Suffice it to say that such horrors exist in this world. Though I wish it were not so, failure to disclose the reality of such things would for me be the highest form of hypocrisy. I've seen it. I've witnessed it, and it has been like a plague of nightmares upon me since those long ago days. So what do you think? There may perhaps be as many reactions to this experience as ears that hear it. I am therefore quite content to leave the burden of final judgment to you. If what you've heard horrifies or shocks you, and has forever changed your concept of reality, allow me to offer you one small glint of relief. Tell yourself, as I have day after day, night after night, that it's only a story. If you can do that much, you can convince yourself that behind the safety of your door, in the quiet of your bed, that it couldn't happen here.